Hey, old school gamers. Welcome back to our series about what even is old school gaming. And in part one, we discussed the idea that PCs in a world such as D&D or Pathfinder might eventually become kings, queens, generals, martial arts masters founding their own schools and styles, archmages, thieves guild masters, assassins guild masters, clerics founding religions on whole new continents, etc. Several campaigns were written back in the day for a whole party of diverse walks of life to work together. Religious clerics, druids, or paladins, more secular warriors, fighters, rogues, mages, etc., and mystical monks to jointly, as a party, because that's what you do in these games, you work as a party, to clear virgin wilderness of monsters so that commoners could settle there and found what would eventually grow into cities like Waterdeep or Blackmoor. These cities were originally formed by PCs at tables that people like Ed Greenwood and Dave Arneson GM'd. Waterdeep was from Forgotten Realms, originally Ed Greenwood's personal table. Blackmoor was from Blackmoor Campaign, originally Dave Arneson's personal table. But in order for things like that to happen, campaigns would have to run for years of time in real life. Traditionally, groups would meet each week for 5, 10, or 15 years. It was the nerd version of like Old Timey Bridge Club or the nerd version of Poker Night. People would rarely switch characters, only in the case of like character permadeath, or if someone really got bored with their character or got an itch to try something else, would that happen? Would switching characters happen? After years of play, characters would slowly advance to epic levels, having lots of adventures and misadventures along the way, making lifelong memories with a group of like-minded friends who became a regular weekly part of their lives like family. Now, at my own personal table, I would have players pick their characters' birthdays on the Game World calendar. So for a while, in college, my campaign was based in the Forgotten Realms. We used the Forgotten Realms calendar. Since then, my campaign has been based more in Mystara. We use the Mystara calendar. But, I've dabbled in just about every world. At times, we've done Birthright and Dark Sun and Dragonlance and everything else. And, each one of these worlds has their own calendar. I would keep track of the time in the campaign world versus time in the real world. So if players had 2 weeks of downtime between adventures, or if they traveled uneventfully overland across the map for a month to get to the next part of their lives that we would actually roleplay, to get to the next adventure hook or dungeon map or whatever, I would mark off the 2 weeks or the month or whatever of in-universe time. At one point in college, I noticed that 3 years had gone by in real life and 7 years had gone by in the game world. Players actually had birthday parties in universe that we roleplayed. And people would get just as excited about their character's birthday coming up in the game or their character having a birthday party in the game as they would in real life for their real birthday, for themselves as a real person. So what I see today in D&D player culture for the most part is just these one-shot wonders and people who jump from character to character to character with very little investment in the character. Milestone leveling is all the rage now. So the idea of a regular campaign down through the years and of your character being as developed from actual events that you actually played and decisions that you actually made over time, as opposed to some backstory that you wrote, is just unheard of. Now, there's nothing wrong with backstories, of course, in themselves, but they are no substitute for actually playing your character through the years and having your character formed by the decisions that that character made. Just like in real life, we are formed by the decisions that we make and the consequences of those decisions. And so your character already has like in real life, we don't get to pick our parents and stuff like that. We don't get to pick the country that we're born in or the neighborhood that we're born in. But a player character, well, they've got you. They've got the player in the real world writing a backstory for them. So you're already kind of at an advantage there. But according to some statistics I've heard from the gaming industry, the average player of D&D plays at a given table for 8 to 9 sessions. period. And then they either quit the game because it's not for them, or they just get busy with their job and can't fit it in their life for a while, or they go find a new table. Because maybe they're looking for the bigger, better deal, or the grass is greener at the other table, or a better GM. But this is not going to produce what I think of as old school gaming. It's not going to produce what this grumpy old GM experienced growing up in a game shop's basement. So what do you think? Was this thing that I just did, was this an important statement about the current state of gaming culture, or was it just an old farty rant? You decide. And we will share and respond to as many of your comments and questions as we can. So that's it for today. The picture there is an elf with a birthday cake, because the whole idea is gaming through the years. Elves live a long time, and there's a birthday cake. Characters age just like we age. So we will see you around the table. Hey, if you'd like to actually play with me as the DM or one of the other grumpy old GMs you might see on this channel, then reach out to our Discord. If you're seeing this on YouTube, it'll be in the comments down below. And if you're seeing this on TikTok, then just look for Grumpy Old GM's Discord server, or come to our website, even better, even easier, grumpyoldgms.com. And if there's space at our tables, then, because I'm an actual real person, not one of these AI GMs that apparently D&D Beyond is supposed to be getting. Since I'm actually a real person, I only have so many nights and so many spaces at the table. But I keep the website pretty updated as to whether there's room at a table. So if you think about gaming with us, check out grumpyoldgms.com. All right, we will see you around the gaming table.